Hey, oh man, trying this, trying to run a YouTube live. I haven't done this for a long time. YouTube live, this feels so strange. I mean, running, Facebook live, Instagram live, TikTok live on daily basis. But I haven't done YouTube live. Maybe I did it a while back, man. So this is the first time. I just call this the first time. This is definitely a very interesting experience. First of all, YouTube is not a social media technically. It is a search engine. So, but yeah, I thought I want to come on and just say what's up. I'm Peter Chow, LongIslandVibes. For those of you who follow me on this channel for a long time, you know this channel developed out of Fabulous Tourette, which I'm still fabulous and I still have Tourette. As a matter of fact, as soon as I talked about Tourette and I start ticking, I haven't been ticking all day long. And the process of recognition brought back the ticks instantly, and I'm ticking again. I love it. This is the reason why I didn't want to get up the channel, and I continue with it. It is a smart thing to do. If you ask people who teach you about YouTube SEO and things like that, they say, hey, if you have video already on there that's populating, don't delete them. Don't just start over, start fresh. So that's exactly what I did. I revamped my old channel, Fabulous Tourette, and turned it into Long Island Vibes. Look, I tell a lot of people, this channel is strictly for the sights, sounds, and flavors of Long Island. But realistically, it is kind of difficult for me to stick to the theme. After all, I'm also trying to make a living, trying to promote myself as a real estate agent. So that's why I thought, let me come on just to let this momentum going. So hopefully I can get some more traffic and come and check me out. Yesterday I was live on podcasts. You may see them. The Long Island Realtor, my man Chris Sand, colleague of mine from Homo Small Premier Living Realty, did a podcast, asked a whole bunch of questions. I'm rather much a rookie. Oh wow, look at that! I got some thumbs sticking up. I got some people on the top before zero. Before, I'm so happy, man. This is great. So yeah, thanks for jumping on. I thought, let me just say this. I'm on a Long Island Expressway right now. I'm going back east. I just finished doing another rental showing in Bayside. I grew up in Bayside. When I first came to the States back in 1991, at 10 years old, I tell you, man, April 6th, it was really strange because I landed and it was hot. It was 82 degrees, 83 degrees in April. For us New Yorkers, New York weather is very strange, So it was one of those strange April day where it felt like summertime. I'm like, wow, I could deal with this. Pot of gold, thank you very much. I like hats. I have long hair underneath. I like this type of hats, fedoras or this. I want to do a showing today. I thought, hey, I'm not gonna. Oh wow, look at this. A whole bunch of vocal ticks just came out. Look, I'm driving. I can't really be answering too much questions, so I'm gonna look ahead. But I'll come back to the comments and question later. So go back to my whole thing about landed in US April 6, 1991. It was really weird because it's hot. It was summer weather. Next day, I put on my shorts. And and my mom said, hey, I take you to Pathmark and get some ice cream. I rented an old movie, Transformer 1986, the movie. It was great. Of course, my mom said, oh, you gotta watch this other movie. She had it on VHS tape. It was Top Gun 1. I loved it. I remember not understanding a single word watching the movie, but I understand the airplane. I always like airplanes, So then I still love that. Top Gun 2. Maverick was great. I saw it a gazillion times, just like Top Gun 1. I saw a gazillion times. Those are the movies that helped me grow in America, and especially helped me understand and learn English. Toyota cup holder manufacturer. Cool. Well, I drive a Toyota. I have a Toyota Sienna 2015 model. The bus. And I love it. I've been a Toyota guy for a long time. I had my first car. It was a 1994 Corolla DX, teal blue color. I love that car. It was an automatic, but engine was great. It was that the DOHC engine you also found in like third gen Celica, before the whole 1ZZA whatever came through. But it was a good engine. It was a dual cam, and my second car was a 1998 Toyota Camry LE 4-cylinder. I remember the engine code clearly. It was the 5SFE 2.2 liter DOC. It was underpowered as always a lot of time. I love how these days Camrys got real power, but back then the 4-cylinder model, it was torque happy. It had 139 horsepower, but it had like 150 pound-feet of torque or something. It was great. I enjoyed it. I remember I did stuff to it. My mechanic's like, why would you want to drop your Why would you want to put iBack Pro on your Camry and slam that thing? Camry is meant to be comfortable, yet you made it uncomfortable or stiff. I'm like, yo, that's the whole process, man. I love it. I love to modify cars. You shouldn't modify. If my wife is not like now, she's not into wasting money on cars, things like that. But I would love to keep my Toyota Sienna long enough to a point there I can acquire another car, so I can turn my Sienna into my project car. I'm friend with the owner of AirTag, the suspension company, Mario. We also grew up together back in Bayside, went to school together. So he has the AirTag performance suspension company right here in Freeport. Yeah, I love to put some AirTag in the ride, and I can could go down, against the VIP mode, coming back up. Now I'm off road, So hey, I thought I'm just gonna come on and just introduce myself and say hi. My YouTube channel has been just there. I took some lessons recently in SEO, a passive prospecting. So I thought about changing my channel up a little bit, but at the same time, I still want to keep the existing content. I don't want my stuff to be just real estate, just houses. It's boring like that. I want to show you guys the real deal, because besides being a real estate agent, I'm a father of 2. I'm Chinese. I speak Mandarin also. My wife is Korean. She's born and raised here. So my kids are a hybrid. I got 2 sons. We just celebrated National Sun Day, last weekend. It was fantastic. And so yeah, I was back in Bayside just now, helping out a tenant, looking for a place to rent. It's been a week or so. We've been seeing a lot of places. At first, you want to look at a one bedroom apartment for rent here in New York City. You're looking at anywhere from $1,900 to $2,350. And so she was particularly interested in the mixed-use properties because it is less costly than living inside a building. But Long Island has been experiencing significant inventory-related issue. Let me change lane to a slower lane so I have more time and talk. And this has been a housing issue. Inflation, economy is not good. For the buyer market, everyone's waiting for the interest rate to drop. September the Feds cut the rates. Now we're down to, I'm not a mortgage guy, but I know 15-year loan right now we're looking at upper 5 point something. 30-year we're looking at a lower 6. But are we gonna go back to the 3.5 2020 rate? No, we're not. I can't predict. But at this point, very unlikely. So a lot of time when the rentals are high, houses are cheap, right? That's when the rental people decided to go buy houses. But now, because of the whole economy has been really whack, it's not just the presidency, it's really after the pandemic, is layer after layer of problems. So we are feeling that some economists like to call this an and late stage capitalism. But yeah, but bottom line, right now the house should be diminishing. We're getting into the fall market. This is also when real estate agent, quote unquote, becomes unemployed because usually a lot of time real estate agent at the end of the year they take vacations. But folks who are internet savvy, social media savvy, they tend to generate more of a passive income through the slow month. But because of interest rate dropping in September, now the whole curve has changed. So the housing boom didn't really happen in spring, but it sort of kicked off again in September. Rental market. So basically, for this rental market, it's getting kind of scarce. For this tenant, we couldn't exactly find the one bedroom to her choice. So her best friend is gonna join in, and now we're gonna look for something bigger, perhaps even a 3-bedroom. Also rent the whole house. This has been the trend. I before I became a homeowner in Long Island, I rented for 25 years plus New York City, so I understand it's not always a straightforward thing, especially now things are getting very rigid, very tight. On one hand, tenants looking for a cheaper place to live, cheaper cost, but your utility, everything's high. Landlord also have a lot of fear for squatters on paying. So in New York City, you have a lot of laws that's protecting the tenants. So a lot of landlords feel they don't have the protection for themselves, so they do try to add protection to themselves. But as far as fair housing concerned, you can't block people from looking at the houses and telling you that you got to look at income first. Although I know there are people who do that, but I'm very firm about it. I always tell people, hey, we can do the application process later, but open the door first. We got to look at it first, okay? So there's a law limiting application to $20, but not for co-ops. Co-ops have the bylaws and average application process for co-op, whether you want to buy or you want to rent. There's going to be application process where they're going to review your income, your background check. So usually co-op application fees is $450, non-refundable, and that's a fact for you right there. And what they want to look at, they want to look at your income. They hope you have a DTI, debt to income ratio of at least 35% or lower, right? So if you have a very high ratio, you might not want to waste your time or waste your money, because the application fee $450 and up, it's non-refundable. Where am I going? Oh, I'm going back home right now. So I thought, let me just. I was gonna do live streaming on Instagram, on Facebook, and I'm very glad I jumped on YouTube, because I need to make my YouTube channel better. I have many YouTube accounts in the past. Look, now East Coast ports are striking, right? It's a significant. I remember some of my earliest accounts on YouTube going back like 2005. I had the FedEx Man 1 account. If you look me up, you can still find some of my old videos. FedEx Man 1. That's when I used to work for FedEx. That's also when I first got into freight forwarding industry. Well, I got into freight forwarding in 2001, but 2005 I was working for FedEx doing ocean import. But that's also when I experienced my first longshoreman strike. But it was on the West Coast. I even did a freestyle rap video. Some of you might see my rap video from back in the days. FedEx Man 1 account. Z the Spitter is also another account I did, where I spit. Yeah, I still freestyle. I love to freestyle. If you go back to some of my videos, you might see some freestyle videos. It's a form of therapy I do for Tourette's. I always emphasize Tourette syndrome is not just a tic disorder. So yeah, I turned this channel into. I wanted to strictly just talking about sights, sounds, flavors of Long Island, and I want to share about the places I like to eat and see. But at the same time, my main purpose, you guess, is also to trying to have a passive prospecting, because really, man, it is 2024. A lot of real estate gurus still talk about, they make a lot of money through cold calling and door knocking, right? But at the same time, we all know younger generations. You know, I have my kids are Generation Alpha. These old school, very aggressive, intrusive way of doing things. It doesn't exactly work anymore. So you want to build a nice social media following, a nice YouTube following, especially YouTube, because don't get anything wrong. YouTube is not social media. YouTube is foremostly powered by Google. It is a search engine, so it's a very powerful tool. That's why I want to jump on and just make things a lot better. And my main point of having these channels is storytelling, sharing stories. I'm also on TikTok. I'm not into that 15 seconds, 60 seconds. I'm into 10-minute plus long form video. I'm a man of 10,000 words. I can really talk a lot. I got my podcast also. It's already 4th season, 57, 58 episode deep. I'm taking a little break from that, but it's all incorporated. Fabulously Tourette, that is the name I've been using for a long time. So for my old followers, you may know me as Fabulously Tourette, and like I said, I will always be fabulous, and I will always have Tourette syndrome. So thank you so much for you guys to jump on and to check me out. I love it. I'm trying to drive home right now. I'm on the LIE, about to exit for exit 30A, which is Northern State Parkway, and I'm going back. You know where I live, the town of Westbury. And Westbury got a lot of history going back to the 1600s, the Quaker days, and the English came. One English guy came, bought some lands from the local tribes, and also formally named the place Westbury because that was Westbury, England, and they the homesick, they turned the whole place into Westbury, Long Island. And it was a mainly agricultural farm. It was a hot spot for the early abolition movements. Underground Railroad there is a stop right here, so it has a rich history, rich black history in the town. As a matter of fact, there was documented about the Quakers freed about 60 slaves in the area, and by the 1800s, 1857, I believe, LIRR has the first line built, so people can come and work on the farms, and eventually richer elite folks from the city discovered the flat farmlands section of Westbury, and they started building mansion on it, and that's the precursor of old Westbury becoming one of the richest neighborhood in America. But so at some point, old Westbury and Westbury split in half, and I think it's old Westbury first in the 1920s incorporated themselves, right, and then Westbury in the 1930s, I think 1935, incorporated themselves into the formal village of Westbury. And Westbury Garden was also opened up. Westbury Garden was opened up in 1951, I believe, right? And also, what's famous about this whole thing, you have the Northern State Parkway traffic, which I'm on right now. Robert Moses attempted to build a highway, and at the time it was the Vanderbilt Expressway. They already had it, but Vanderbilt, they couldn't cut directly through old Westbury because old Westbury holds so much power, so much old money involved. So they were able to block Robert Moses from building a highway to cut. This is the reason why if you ever come to this side, Northern State Parkway, at one point it dips at Glen Cove. It dips south all the way, and then it come back because it has to route away from the affluent neighborhood old Westbury. So this is also something very interesting about the neighborhood. So I've been here for the last 6-7 years now. It's great. The kids love it. They thrive here. And after the pandemic, the state injected maybe $10-15 million into the whole revitalization project. Not only did they build roads, parks, update a lot of features, they also putting a third rail for the LIRR, making us more like a commuter town like Mineola. So there's a lot of investment going on right now in Westbury. People coming in, not just buying residential property, but commercial. A lot of Queens restaurants have moved in. Asian markets 99 Ranch Market last year picked up. I have the Shanghai Yu Garden from the city moved in. So a lot of cool things here. So if you ever think about buying Westbury, Long Island, you know, not only do you get the country style suburban living, quiet neighborhood, but at the same time you have the urban amenity, also close vicinity to all the shopping center, Garden City just nearby, several malls already within Westbury. On top, we're very close to Roosevelt Field Mall. All the food and eats, plus all the neighboring town, cool things to see. East Meadow, right below us, Levittown, the cookie cutter houses. So, you know, besides as a real estate agent, I'm foremost a longtime resident of Long Island. Right, I grew up in Queens, lived in Amherst, but mostly grew up in Bayside area. You know, I went to First Louis High School. I went to I went to Baruch College. I also lived in Bushwick, Brooklyn, man, for about 7 to 8 years. This is before Bushwick blew up, before Jefftown even became something of a name, of a place. You know, this before Bushwick went, you know, quote unquote hipster. I got this apartment, and at the same time, I remember seeing the first wine bar opened up, and that wine bar, if you know what I'm talking about, blew up, and it spawned a whole bunch of different shops, including the very famous legendary Northeast Kingdom, which is no longer there. And so that was really the how everything started. Yeah, so that's how I like to talk about myself. I say I'm more than just a realtor. I grew up here. This is my town. I know a lot of things you may not know. At the same time, I'm sure you know a lot of things that I don't know. You know, it's a great thing about being a real estate agent. It's not just about selling, buying, but it's also making the connection, learning and building. It's fun. It's fun, you know. If you ever think about becoming a real estate agent, you know, you also got to know the reality. You know, this is a independent contractor work. Even though it's fun, even though I have the freedom, you have the ability to customize and do anything you want. But you just got to know a lot of these work, dedication, passion you do, you're not gonna get paid until the end, until the closing, right? Until the transaction deal is over. Whether you're helping a buyer, right, help the buyer to the foremost, whether you're helping a seller, whether you're helping someone rent, right? You're not gonna get paid until the key is in their hands. Okay, so currently for rental market, you just gotta know for Queens, pretty much, you just gotta show up 1 month rent. 1 month rent deposit and another month rent for the agency fees. So that's basically 3 month rent up front, right? And agents, between the listing agent and the rental tenant agent, that's going to be an even 50-50 split. You may have heard about the August 17 regulation change in real estate industry after the National Association of Realtor settled with the court dispute because some sellers mistakenly feel that NAR trying to monopolize on the whole commission structure, but the truth is, here's some fun facts for you right here. Real estate agents are not we're not all filthy rich, okay? According to statistics last year, average real estate agent income per year is $49,000, okay? Also, first year real estate agent dropout rates 90%, okay? Also, when my mom was a realtor back in the 1990s, you know, she struggled hard fighting against all the man-dominating industry, but now it's the woman-dominating industry. The demographic shows mostly 50-year plus white woman in this industry. All right, so there's a lot of changes, a lot of misconceptions, but of course, August 17 with the whole law change, it basically decoupled the commission structure, or a better word, compensation is a much better word than the commission, also fee of service. So, you know, in the past, traditionally, you know, the compensation it's a full 6%, right? And the seller will take up that 6%, and 6% will include just the listing agent, right, a commission. Are you also including the compensation portion for the buyer agency? However, they offer 50-50, 3%, but a lot of time 3.5%, 2.5%. But bottom line, buyer agent fee of service was paid by the seller. So now with the August 17 decoupling new regulation, sellers are no longer responsible for buyer broker commission. But that's not what the law states. The law states that the MLS, or multiple listing system, can no longer disclose commission structure. But agent can still talk to agent and find out if the seller is still offering commission to buyers, because traditionally that's how it's always been done, has always been attracting buyer to show up to buy. So now all of a sudden you're slapping buyers with additional costs that they have to think about besides just pre-approval, besides closing costs. So this may decrease the foot traffic coming to get your house. So from what I have seen, a lot of sellers these days are still offering full 6%, maybe 4 or 5%, but you know, they're still offering some percentage to the buyer agent. So definitely want to pick up the phone and call. But what's really a law now is that a buyer agent and the buyer must get into an agreement at this point, a contract. Okay, back in the days, there's no agreement. Most likely, you just gotta sign the agency disclosure form, and most importantly, the fair housing anti-discrimination form. All right, but now, you know, legally, you have to get into agreement first. The agreement basically talked about most important part of agreement, not just talking about service, but agreement discuss commission, all right, discuss compensation structure, right? So yeah, so that's basically what this new regulation is all about. Really, it's really nothing changed, you know. It just simply put, you can no longer you know, disclose compensation amount on an MLS. At the same time, buyer agents, you know, buyer broker and buyer must get into agreement before you start seeing houses, things, you know, before the whole transaction starts, you know. So that's pretty much it. All right, so I just got home now. I thought I just want to jump on, just talk about what's happening here. This is my page, Long Island Vibes, you know, where I like to speak about the sights, sounds, and flavors of Long Island, and of course real estate. You know, again, I'm Peter Zhao, licensed real estate agent with HomeSmart Premier Living Realty. If you like contents like this, you can follow me. Not just here, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, but definitely follow me right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. What we gotta do here? Hey baby, I'm here. Hey baby.